I mean, we were children, but I still do find that very funny. It would just shout it like Christ will come again. Let's carry on. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Brain Blaze. As always, hello there, I'm your host Simon. What happens here? Danny writes me a script, I'm gonna read it. Terrible advertising fails, huh? Feels like we've done this one before. Perhaps we've done it before many times. We're probably doing it again because it got lots of views, and lots of views is good for Simon. This is, Sam edits it, by the way. Did I mention that? Thank you, Sam. Let's rock and roll. I used to know a security guard with a peculiar problem back when I was hobbling around the lower basements of the Royal Bank of Scotland. The guy had a phobia of elevators and would only dare to venture inside if he was accompanied by somebody else. I used to be slightly afraid of elevators when I was a child, and then I became an adult and realized, oh my god, I need to use these. Because taking the stairs is... It's like, there's nothing worse than a hot day. Like, going up to work on the 5th floor. Hot ass day. And you're just like, you get up there, it's not great, I'm sweaty, and it's the start of the day. I used to live in an apartment building. I lived on the 5th floor, and it had a lift. When that lift wasn't working, was that a hassle. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. We're all scared of something. I'm absolutely terrified of curried parsnips. That actually sounds quite good. I don't think I've ever had a curried parsnip, but I like parsnips and I like curry. That sounds like a win. But the problem was that the security guard's job was to spend all day navigating his way around the 8 floors of the mighty building via an elevator. So unless he could coax somebody else into the elevator with him, he had to use the stairs. This meant that he kept himself incredibly fit. It took him 3 times as long as the other security guards to do anything. Honestly, if you're not getting fired and you get to get all that exercise in on the job, honestly, mate, you're winning at life, aren't you? I never quite understood why he was perfectly fine in the elevator when he had a bit of company, though. Did he just feel more comfortable with the idea of having somebody there to chat to if the elevator broke down and sent the occupants plummeting to their deaths? It's going to be a very short conversation, isn't it? The security guard probably would have embraced the idea of National Take the Stairs Day, which happens on the 2nd Wednesday of every Oh, no. I looked through this because I can't see the images on the teleprompter beforehand, so I know exactly which this one is, and it's f***ing savage. Not in a joke way, it's just horrible and insensitive. I don't know why I said, like, savage. That makes it sound like I'm just being callous, but it is horrible. You'll see. Organised by the American Lung Association, the idea is to encourage everyone to keep trim just one day of the year by walking right past the death trap elevators and choosing the stairs instead. I went to the doctors. I told this story on my other show. They were like, you need to get some exercise. And I'm like, what? I exercised like 18 months. I haven't done any exercise for like a year and a half. It's crazy. I broke my collarbone, and then that put me out of exercising for like a month. And then I just never got back into it. And I don't really gain any weight or anything. So I was just like, I've got kids as well. It's really hard. And I went to the doctor and he was like, your blood cholesterol is alarmingly high. And I've also had high blood cholesterol forever because it's just like genetic. But he was like, now it's a problem. You need to get some exercise. Like, as your doctor, I'm saying you have to. And I'm like, okay. So I've started running again. And eating less steak. Gotta take care of myself or I'll die young. I really will. Like, it runs in my family. But don't worry, guys. I'm like 3 months recorded ahead on videos, so we're all good. For you, you'll get 3 months of content and then nothing because I'll be dead. It's very morbid, isn't it? Be good if Policy Genius sponsors this episode, wouldn't it? You might even see posters slapped right across the elevator in your apartment block displaying the motivational mantra, today's the day we take the stairs. I suppose not everyone is going to feel motivated in the exact same way, though. When Simon originally sent me this picture, I wondered if the elevator had been purposefully put out of service for the day, but that apparently would be illegal. It's been pointed out that the poster hadn't taken wheelchair users into consideration and has failed to recognise that not everyone has the option of taking the stairs. Just rolling up in a wheelchair. It's like, today's the day we take the stairs. It's like, yeah, you. You.
Daddy, chill.
But if you follow that path of logic too far round the bends, we could argue that advertisements for cars should be banned as blind people can't drive them. Not legally, anyway. And at least you used to get a small discount on your taxi fare in Rotherham if the driver was blind. Wait. Daddy, are you trying to say that do you mean passenger? Or are you making a joke about if the driver's blind, you get a discount? Do blind people get discounts in taxis? That seems fair.
I'm blind, Carl, not stupid.
Perhaps the bigger marketing disasters are the ones which fail to take anything remotely logical into consideration. I actually quite liked the message behind this campaign for the low-cost Norwegian airline, which suggested that when you're visiting an exciting European destination, you should maybe consider putting down the cell phone for a second and trying to live in the moment instead. Yeah, but how do we know those moments existed, Danny, if we haven't posted them to Instagram? Use your brain, Danny. Nobody knows it happens unless it's on Instagram. We'd only have memories to go by. Fallible memories. Stupid arguments. The slogan, "Don't just like it, live it," appears on a series of posters which depict a cast of different characters with their faces split into two. The left-hand sides of the faces are staring down glumly at their phones, while the right-hand sides are joyously soaking up the thrills of international travel. Now, maybe this just sprang instinctively into my head because of the recent news story in which Justin Bieber revealed that he has tragically had to cancel all of his upcoming shows because he is suffering from a rare form of facial paralysis. I mean, obviously it's a tragedy that Justin Bieber has... I don't think that's a tragedy. A tragedy is like when a shopping centre collapses. It's unfortunate that Justin Bieber has facial paralysis, but to describe as having to cancel his shows where he performs his horrible music as a tragedy, Danny, is a tragedy in itself, mate. Like, I'm not happy that Justin Bieber has facial paralysis, but I am happy that he's not singing. His music is so awful. It's really bad. I've told this story before. I'll just keep it brief. I was like, there must be something to it. There's got to be something to Justin Bieber's music. So I fire up my Spotify and I realize there is not. But surely anyone looking at these jaw-dropping images were bound to briefly ponder if the airline was intentionally mocking stroke victims or anyone who suffers from Bell's palsy. The design team behind the campaign, McCann Dublin, seemed to be quite proud of their work and highlighted on their website portfolio, drawing attention to the eye-catching impact and the awareness-building cut-through. But the verdict is out on whether this was a stroke of genius. Careful, Danny, careful.
You really don't remember any of that? Half my face melted. And now I'm insane.
Or at least something to be half frowned upon. This product packaging hopefully won't leave such a bad taste in the mouth you shouldn't be able to go far wrong. This product packaging hopefully won't leave such a bad taste in the mouth you shouldn't be able to go far wrong when you're marketing a delicious healthy fruit for your children. You slap one Disney's. I just had to leave to check what was going on. Danny has decided that I don't get subtitles in this script, so confusingly, now we're just randomly moving on to another topic. This product packaging hopefully won't leave such a bad taste in the mouth. You shouldn't be able to go far wrong when you're marketing a delicious healthy fruit for children, and you slap on one of Disney's most beloved and innocent characters on the front to help shift a few more bags. Yeah, until Disney slap you with a fucking lawsuit. But wait a minute, the Dutch company is selling bags of Kinder Apple to Jez, or juicy little apples aimed at kids. That seems fair. I'm not sure what the problem is. And I've seen the advert, and I don't know what the problem is. Am I just being dumb? Like, what's wrong with this image? There's definitely something... What am I not getting?
I don't understand.
And who's the one Disney character that you shouldn't be Oh, of course, because there's a poison apple. It's a poison apple. I would have definitely been like, yeah, this is good. Sign off on that. Poison apples. Nah, it's good. But who definitely shouldn't be the character you associate with selling a bag of apples? Snow White, of course, on account of the fact within part of the story, she's tricked into munching on a poisoned apple, which sends her into sleeping death. I've recently just finished writing a Brainblaze script which covers the death of Alan Turing, the heroic wartime codebreaker who allegedly committed suicide from eating an apple laced with cyanide. Funnily enough, Danny, I recorded that a few days ago. And the only way this packaging could have gotten any worse is if it had depicted a photograph of Alan Turing waving a thumb aloft while cheerfully sinking his teeth into a nice juicy apple. Woo! At least the Dutch producers of those apples seemed vaguely aware of their target audience. It's hard to figure out. Oh, I see. We're in another entry, Danny. Could you just put asterisks in there if you don't want to do a bloody subtitle, mate? Come on! At least the Dutch producers of these apples seemed vaguely aware of their target audience. It's hard to figure out who the manufacturers had in mind for this range of unbreakable wine glasses. Sam, put it on screen. Yes. Yeah. My printer's printing something. Printer, what are you printing? I didn't tell you to print dick. I'm sitting here. That'll be a nice surprise when I finish recording this video. I did try to print something earlier. It didn't work, but it's been hours, Printer. It's been hours. Printers. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, children getting drunk. I'm sure we've also accidentally smashed a few wine glasses in our time. Oh yes, and not just when I fucked up. I'm usually less concerned about the shards of broken glass than I am about the loss of perfectly good wine. But we all know that the clumsiest wine drinkers of all are those pesky little kids. And this product packaging shows mummy enjoying a full-bodied red whilst her very young daughter goes for a cheeky glass of white. Who the signs are they gotta be like, yeah, it's juice. But still, look at the fucking image marketing company. Christ! Now young children can get as smashed as they like without the risk of showering the carpet in glass fragments. It could be argued that the little girl is just innocently enjoying a drink of apple juice or piss. But so random, Danny. I love it. But why on earth didn't they just go for milk or a chocolate milkshake? And why put kids on the packaging for glasses specifically intended for wine in the first place? I'll tell you a type of glass that's definitely not unbreakable. The thin, flimsy stuff they... Oh, Danny, it's another entry. But why on earth didn't they just go for milk or chocolate milkshake? And why put kids on the packaging for glasses specifically intended for wine in the first place? It's a good question that the marketing company should have asked. Next entry! I'll tell you a type of glass that's not unbreakable. The thin, flimsy stuff that they put in bus shelters. Oh yes, so good if it's not broken, break it. I can't even feel like this bad. If someone gets arrested for this and like pulled up on vandalism charges, be like, I was just following instructions. This advert for the flavored malt beverage Mike's Hard Lemonade featured the provocative statement, if it ain't broke, break it. But I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea to display the advertisement in a glass bus shelter. I mean, come on! This was just an open invitation for young vandals and drunks to do what comes naturally to them. I think, like, I don't know. I don't think I'd have broken this, but I would have enjoyed seeing someone else break it. Like, I've been pretty drunk in my life, not gonna lie. But I don't think, at least in memory, that I've ever been like, yes, f*** this shit up. I mean, not to that extent. But if I'm in a group of people, I'd definitely be egging that person on. I mean, allegedly, because I feel like that's probably a crime as well. I'd be like, yeah, go on, mate, go on, do it. And I'd just be too much of a coward to do it myself. But I'd enjoy the result because it's extremely amusing. If this poster had been displayed in a Rotherham bus shelter, the glass wouldn't have lasted for more than 10 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if the local council sent the repair bill to Mike. And here's one more piece of glass, which I hope stayed around for a very long time, but I suspect that it might have been quite swiftly replaced. Oh, I see, we're on to another entry. Thanks for the heads up, Danny. The only quite minor niggle here is that it's been put on backwards and you can only read it from inside the office. I mean, don't buy your glass here. Glass signs. What are you doing? This doesn't inspire much confidence in the business, does it? But at least everyone who works in the office can look at a handy reminder of what they're supposed to be doing if any customer asks. It's not always fair to lay all of the blame at the door of the company or the design team, though. Sometimes an advert is just unlucky enough to be positioned in the most inappropriate... Oh, we're on to another entry already. Danny!
You couldn't even comprehend how fast I am.
God damn it! What is your problem? You're gonna ruin my fucking fan?
Inappropriate location imaginable. This one's so good with the Walking Dead sign. I looked these all up before, so I have them in my mind, as I mentioned. Also, cooperative funerals is kind of weird, because it looks like, for Americans watching, co-op is also like a 7-Eleven, right? So this would be like 7-Eleven funerals, which I feel in a way would be super American. But somehow us Brits have beaten you to it with co-op funerals. Look, when I die, I haven't specifically laid this out in my will. But I'm not saying you have to spend a lot of money on my funeral, dear family. But also, please not a co-op funeral. That just feels like I'm getting the Asda value funeral. Just throw me in the ocean or something if you're going to do that. Just get like a boat and throw me in the ocean. Because that's cheaper and cooler. The Cooperative Funeral Care is a parlour in Consett, County Durham, right next to a giant billboard space. Apparently the co-op weren't terribly happy about the idea of sharing space with a new billboard site, but they'd been assured that no insensitive material would ever be displayed there. You did lock that down very well in that contract, did you? Sounds like that assurance wasn't legally reinforceable. Clearly, somebody didn't get the memo. The director of the funeral parlor can't have felt very impressed when he saw that his premises were now slap bang next to a massive publicity poster for the upcoming season of the post-apocalyptic zombie drama The Walking Dead. After complaints were raised that some customers may find this a tad upsetting, the company behind the billboard site apologized for the unfortunate juxtaposition and replaced the advert. I don't know, I just see it's quite funny. It's quite funny. Anyone who thinks this is a problem just needs to relax a little bit. The problem is, I think, like, the people who are, generally going to funeral parlors, fucking old. And I feel like as you get older, your sense of humor just shrivels up and dies along with your brain and other organs, right? It's always old people, like, shouting off my lawn.
Hot diggity dog!
I've told this story before. I'll just keep it brief. I was like, there must be something to it. There's got to be something to Justin Bieber's music. So I fire up my Spotify and I realise there is not.
But that might have been a rash decision, though. The poster could have offered a glimmer of hope. Danny, I know where you're going. The zombies aren't real, Danny! A glimmer of hope to grieving relatives that their loved ones might return from the grave if they took their business to cooperative funeral care. And even that, new entry I can tell, and even that wasn't as bad as the huge movie poster which was displayed with surprising relevancy on the side of the hospital Westwood Medical. The movie? A Million Ways to Die in the West. It'd be awesome if it was hospice care or something. After customers have been killed off at the Westwood Medical Center and made arrangements with cooperative funeral care, they might want to give some thought as to where they'd like to be buried. This graveyard looks particularly welcoming. New entry. The church had decided... I get that this is all supposed to flow, but it doesn't very well. The church had decided to display a huge banner encouraging citizens to come join the fun right in front of all the jolly graves. The one thing I remember about religious school was I told this joke before. It's not a joke, it's just a story. In the Bible they've got that bit where you're saying the Eucharist or whatever that bullshit is, and they're like, Christ has risen, Christ will come again, blah blah blah. We were at school and we had to do this. I would always be like, Christ has risen. Christ will come again. I mean, we were children, but I still do find that very funny. And we just shout it, like, Christ will come again. Let's carry on. I wish I could get a proper laugh. I feel really tired today for some reason. And I'm just like, I just can't do it. Whoops. Of course, the church didn't really intend to encourage mass suicide in the look of it. Apparently, the banner was a promotion for some kinds of kids' summer camp, and they just happened to plant it in front of hundreds of dead bodies. But on deeper examination, the church was actually enticing the kids into attending Bible camp this summer. I'm not sure what's worse, to be honest, death or Bible camp.
The Bible. This is the Bible.
On careful reflection, I think I'd just rather spend my summer in the bloody graveyard. Agreed, Danny. Perhaps the kids who... New entry? Maybe? Possibly? Perhaps the kids who wasted their summer holidays in Bible camp might have something a bit more exciting to look forward to at Christmas. Yes, lots of prayer about Jesus' birthday and when can we get to the gifts? If they live in Toronto, they might just be lucky enough to attend this Christmas bazaar and craft show in Lakeshore Boulevard. The star attraction this year is a rare opportunity to fight children with diabetes. I'm sure that the aim behind this well-meaning campaign was to help fight against diabetes in children. Maybe. We could just fight children with diabetes. But the wording makes it sound as if attendees are either being invited to smack 7 shades of sugar out of children with diabetes, probably good for them, or simply fight children using a weaponized version of diabetes. Oh, I see the other way. Fight children with diabetes. Like diabetes being some sort of strange weapon, like beat you around the head with a diabetes. Does kind of sound like a weapon, doesn't it? On a more promising note, Santa Claus was due to make an appearance from 12 p.m. He's probably got a different type of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. I reckon he could do with a good pummeling too, that porky part-timer. The problem with Jink's juxtaposition raises ugly head again in the layout of this article and advertisement, which appeared in the Daily Mirror in 2009. The article, I remember this one, tackles the serious topic of domestic abuse with the sobering headline, 1 in 4 women will be beaten by their husbands, which sounds f***ing high. That's a bit insane. I mean, I definitely know more than 4 married dudes. I mean, they're probably not going to beat their wives because I'm friends with them and I just don't imagine these dudes are the type. But I also imagine there's probably clusters of dudes who, like, they all beat their wives, maybe, and they like bring the statistics somewhere else. Like, I'm not like, if I get 4 married guys in a room, one of them has beaten his wife. I don't think if I did that with my friends, it would be likely. Maybe some of them are watching this, be like, "Oh, someone, I beat my wife." Gotta keep that bitch in line. Yeah, that went too far. But the advert directly beneath the article appears to suggest that the violent husband should be then rewarded with a particularly violent movie from Asda on Father's Day. The striking thing about this layout is that it couldn't be any worse if it was tried. The green Asda arrow looks as if it was purposefully designed to guide the viewer's gaze from the article to the advertisement, suggesting a direct connection between the bruising headline and the idea of subsequently treating the abusive husband to a copy of Rocky Balboa or Die Hard 4. Another very delicate matter was handled without thought when it came to the naming of the pamphlet issued by the US Army, which addresses the topic of male soldiers standing together against sexual assault. An important message is clearly being conveyed here, but could they seriously not have thought of a less eye-wateringly bad slogan than "I'm all in"? Perhaps we should at least be grateful that the US Army didn't choose to show its support for the brave men coming forward with the rather threatening headline, "We're right behind you." Finally, it's hard to see how so much wrong could be crammed into just a single poster. This advert for a hairdressing with the crying child, right? For a hairdressing salon was found in a shopping mall in Coventry in Western Australia. As we can see here, they cut girls, they cut men, and they cut kids. For starters, the choice of language is a little disturbing, and I'm not convinced that they should be boasting about cutting kids in exchange for money. It's also a little bit weird how they don't appear to cater for women. They cut only men, kids, and girls, the latter of which has surely been specified. But the strangest thing about the poster is the poor kid at the bottom looks absolutely terrified. It's as if he's about to be stabbed in the eyes with a pair of scissors. Maybe this hairdressing salon was trying to convey a message that they have no problem with cutting children's hair, even if the kid behaves like a squirming little... Yeah, but even then, just choose the smiling picture, right? You're getting these from stock photos, just go get the smiling one and be like, look how happy he is. Or it could be that they were purposefully trying to dissuade customers from bringing in their troublesome children for a good cutting. Or if that's the case, just say you don't cut children's hair. I'm pretty sure that's okay. Either way, I think I'd recommend skipping ahead and trying the slightly less bloodthirsty hairdressing salon located just 7 floors up from this one. You can take the elevator if you like, but today is the day that I take the stairs. Hilarious! Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Simon. You legends. If you enjoyed this video, please do like it. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time. I used to be slightly afraid of elevators when I was a child, and then I became an adult and realized, oh my god, I need to use these.